325 East Senior Drive. I had a couple of things. I was originally going to talk about the ordinance 625 on the land use adoption. But number one was I sent out an email with attachments and document on the Xenia cold storage. Everybody should have got that. So just read it, file it away, because you may need to reference in the future once it gets built. So Fairborn has been so warned about the problems. The other thing I want to bring up is I want to urge council members to really look into this, the details of this comprehensive land use 625. There's a lot of new requirements and stuff in chapter 1121 that are extremely restrictive and, you know, kind of prohibit the creativity of building styles, and it's going to drive up the cost of houses and stuff. I estimate just some of the requirements are in there like 40%. So some of the items that I was wanting is remove all minimum house size requirements. The previous 1122 did not have any, so why do we need them now? Because all this is going to do is restrict the building of any affordable houses of smaller size. But it kind of seems like Fairborn wants to go that way. We want our big upscale affluent houses and stuff, and kind of don't want the lower class like me and myself that live in the older section of town. Also remove all architectural design requirements. Some of them are really ridiculous, like minimum roof pitch, 812 and 1012 pitch. It might be appropriate, but a lot of buildings, that flexibility doesn't, it gives no flexibility, again, for the type of roof pitch for the design of the building. So, yeah, imagine an 812 pitch on a one-story ranch with a requirement of having 1012 pitch gables. That's really right in there. So, also remove the requirement for an attached two-car garage. Again, that might not be appropriate for the type of building or something like that. And all this alludes to is the typical cookie cutter type suburban sprawl houses we have now. And also the exterior building materials. You need to remove the prohibition of vinyl siding, you know? It's kind of ridiculous because you look again of all your PUD upscale houses, they're all vinyl siding. So, and I have a lot of concerns about the urban edge residential district that I live in, and I can bring those up later. Again, the minimum requirement for having 1,200 square feet is inappropriate. Most of the houses there are under 1,000 square feet. They're all unique, and a lot of them are under 800 square feet. And it's amazing, just imagine. There's been many generations growing up in those, raising families in those 800 square foot houses. So what's the problem with it? They weren't, the minimum requirement for urban edge was not in there before. It should be removed. And here's a good one for Tana and Adam. Solar panels, 1128-28C, requirements on 2B. Be located in the most inconspicuous location on the roof as to not to be seen from the roof. Now that should have been removed, and it was never changed. That was snuck in there the last time, and citizens had no comment on that, and here it is again. It hasn't been removed. Because the way it's written now, if possible in there, leaves a totally subjective decision to the Fairborn Building Department to reject a solar plant as they will. So it needs to be removed. So anyway, I'm urging council to table this 627 until there's a thorough review of all these requirements and the impact that they're going to have. Because citizens did not have an opportunity, the common citizen did not have an opportunity to comment on these at all. Okay? The current committee was a behind the doors, hand-picked committee, along with your consultant who made all these decisions. And now the citizens look at it, and I see some real serious flaws. like I say, including probably raising the cost of buildings 40%. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Anyone else wishing to speak to council, please come forward at this time. Okay, seeing no one else come forward, we will close citizens' comments and we'll move on to city manager comments. Rob?
Good evening. Just a couple quick things. I'm going to thank Hillary for her presentation tonight and Kathleen as well. An item of interest, if anyone has noticed, there's this gorgeous, massive 2-ton bronze eagle that is now on top of the Veterans Memorial right out here in Fairborn Memorial Park. It is absolutely gorgeous. So just take note if you get a walk by or drive by, it's wonderful. The Fairborn Police Department is going to be holding another community walk. That'll be March 20th from 2 to 3, and members of the department will go door to door talking with residents in the Rona Hills neighborhood. And officers will be available to provide any advice or concern of any issues. That's all I have today.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to council comments, and we'll start with Gonzalez.
Oh, thank you. Well, first of all, let me say happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. That's something you celebrate. If you do celebrate, please don't drink and drive. Call a buddy, call Uber, call somebody, but don't do that. Beginning in April and lasting through November, our tool lending closet will be open Monday through Friday from 10 to 3. So if you need lawn equipment that you can borrow for free, just give us a call and we can help you out with that. Also a reminder, this will be our last meeting before Fairborn City Schools goes on spring break. So just a reminder, look out for the kiddos out there with spring break coming up. And I also want to thank our communications staff. The new live feed I'm being reported by citizens say it's wonderful, it's clear, you can hear it, and they love it. So thank you. That's all I have.
Yeah.
I'll just thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thanks for your comments, and I have nothing else.
I do not have any comments to add tonight. That's all you can.
Way to go, Al. Thank you so much. Thanks for everybody coming out. Al, thank you so much for your comments. I will say this about Al Carney, and Al, I've told you this before. You know, you pour your heart and soul into how you believe this city, your environment, your neighborhood, your neighbors. I truly appreciate that. I know that for a lot of people, it may be, okay, here comes Al. But for me, it's here comes Al, and I know that he's bringing a real and serious concern. So we will take note of what you shared. I'll take note of that, and then we'll see how far we get. But again, I just appreciate you coming forward and laying your concerns on the table. So thank you so much for that. For the other, for our communications director, thank you so much for improving our feed and improving communications. I think our website is moving. You know, I really would love to see us do a few more quick surveys, you know, of people, you know, just basically, and it doesn't have to be anything time consuming, you know, 5 questions, 10 questions. Let's incorporate an app. Let's incorporate probably a Survey Monkey of some sort, just to get a feel for what citizens want and how they and what their concerns are, so that when we come about and have to make these decisions, we are truly fighting for feedback. So, other than that, happy St. Patty's Day to everybody, and the remainder of my comments I leave to my colleague.
I will keep it short. A lot of what I had has already been said, so I won't be redundant. I do want to say we have a lot of great kids in our community. They're members of the Girl Scouts and the Leos and Boy Scouts and the Rotary. What is the Rotary Youth?
Well, we don't. Leo's for the Lions Club.
Right. Whatever. boys or a Giovanni's, support them, because it's teaching them valuable skills. So I appreciate all those kiddos out there doing all the good things, and I sent all of my Girl Scout cookies home with my college kid this weekend so that I didn't eat them, so. And with that, I think that's all I have.
A couple comments, Al, thank you for your comments, and we will look into what your statements were, we'll look at that. I wanna tag on what Robin said about Memorial Park, not just the Veterans Memorial with the new eagle on top, but the whole park itself. In the next few weeks, you're gonna see more work done on it. We've had a lot of the seniors live in the senior apartments right next to it, are really anxious to get the park finished. It turns out that the route completely around the park is not quite a quarter mile, so they're gonna have to walk 5 laps to get in about a mile, but they're really excited about that. But for our out-of-town visitors who are here this evening, take a look at our park. It's right on the other end of this building. You'll see a large Veterans Memorial. It's 6-sided, and on top of it is a bronze eagle that just got installed last week. A lot of time and effort and money went into that, and it adds a lot to the entire park, but you'll see more and more come with that. I want to remind everybody, Christmas in Action will be this fall. This is a program where we provide home repairs to low-income seniors and low-income people with disabilities. It's all done in one day. We have volunteers coming from throughout the community, the base, the university. The one thing we need for this year are homes to work on. So if you know a senior or someone with disabilities who meets the guidelines for it, the repairs are done in one day, and there's absolutely no cost to the homeowner. But if you know somebody who needs their house painted, some minor roofing repairs, faucets replaced, landscaping, this is a program we started about 10 years ago, and we do it every year. We didn't stop for COVID. But we make home repairs to low-income seniors and, again, folks with disabilities. If you know somebody, please let the staff over at the Senior Center know. Ellen is the person who tracks the applications for that. The next thing I want to mention is that this last Friday at Fairborn High School was a big event where all 4 Fairborn City School staff were there. There was a presentation by a gentleman who spoke for, well over an hour. The gist of what he said is about people being kind to each other. And he was very complimentary of the city school staff. It was a wonderful event to attend. It was really fantastic. The last thing I want to say is that for the past couple of months, our city manager has been out for major hip surgery. He's on the med. He's doing much better, but there are 2 people that I particularly want to mention, Terry Atkins and Robin McClure. Robin is sitting up here. Those 2 folks filled in as the city manager, so I am asking everybody, let's give them a big hand. There's a lot of hard work on your part, and we want you to know you appreciate it. And the last thing I'll say is we had some out-of-town visitors this evening in our work session. We want to thank you all for being here. You traveled, for several of you, a long distance. We appreciate your presentation, and we'll be looking more into that. So at this time, we need to, an executive session has been requested per ORC 122-D-3 to conference with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are a subject of pending or imminent court action. So at this time, is there a motion to adjourn into executive session?
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Fritchie?
Yes.
Ms. Reister?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. McCubbins?
Yay.
Ms. Stanton? Yes. Mr. Burkett?
Yes, council will not be taking any action when we return from executive session. Thank you all for being here this